I think we exist. The thing is, I don't know. Maybe this is just wishful thinking, but like I said, we are like a subcategory of the underground, and I think that we could possibly reach a more mainstream audience because we're not like swinging Juggalo around. You know what I'm saying? Because Juggalo.
No, and it's not that I think it's a bad word, but there is a stigma that comes with it, and you cannot say there isn't.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, there's definitely a stigma attached to it.
So as a content creator, because this is something he and I have talked about, the idea of, God knows if it ever happens, breaking into the mainstream, do you see that you would you give less love to where you came from if you were, say, to speak to someone like a fucking MGK? Not saying that you would, just putting it out there.
Yeah, MGK was a weird choice.
He was just,
but no,
I was just trying to name a douchey tool artist that had nothing to do with our scene.
Yeah, no, I think probably the opposite, bro. I've always it's always been weird to me that there has to be some like Hollywood celebrity or somebody big who is like a closeted juggalo. There has to be. And so I've always wondered, like, why isn't there like a basketball player that's like walking to the arena with a ringmaster jersey on? Or like there has to be somebody on that echelon that is a fan of the shit, but they just don't say it. And like that kind of shit's like, man, like what the, like, I don't know. It's kind of like it kind of bugs me, I guess, a little bit.
Well, like Post Malone was wearing psychopathic stuff for a while, but I think it's just because Shaggy gave it to him at a show once. I don't know if he actually.
I've always thought he wore it ironically. Like,
yeah, I cannot confirm that he actually likes it, but I heard that Shaggy took his daughter to a Post Malone show. Of course, you know, he's got the power to like do the meet and greet, and like gave him a psychopathic jersey. So I was like, okay, well that makes sense, but he wore it out in public, so maybe it's ironic. I don't know what's going on right now.
But unfortunately sometimes other celebrities wear our symbols and it doesn't look so great on Jeremy.
Yeah, right. Like that's the other side of that coin when he shows up in court.
Days of all the times, Ron, that was the shirt you picked.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Bro, when I first saw that, I thought it was Photoshop. Like, I was like,
nah, bro, I was like, that's legit, and we're gonna hear about it.
I thought it was like, there's that photo. It's a legit photo of The Rock wearing a Riddlebox shirt. For years, I thought that was Photoshop, but no, that was legit. That was when they were like passing around like ICP gear and shit to the fucking wrestlers.
Yeah. Well, this is something, and now that we've brought wrestling up, I always likened the underground to pro wrestling, and you as a fan, I was wondering if you viewed some of the same things I saw as well, in the sense that one, you have to know your gimmick, two, you have to have a strong merch game, and three, you got to be able to talk.
Yeah, I mean, ICP, bro, early years, they were cutting wrestling promos. Nothing but, man. That's like, you look at that very first big interview they did on MTV when Hollywood and Disney dropped Malenko. That's Violent J cutting a wrestling promo, man. It definitely is. I mean, it definitely, and the fan base is, you know, a particular sect of people, like in wrestling, you know, there are people that look down on wrestling still, which is kind of weird considering how mainstream wrestling has gotten. I don't think that the scene will ever get mainstream. I don't think, because of the nature of the music.
No, the closest we ever came to legit mainstream would have been like when the Six dropped. Maybe around Jekyll Brothers when ICP actually played like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like Jekyll Brothers, I could see like at that era, like you could almost see.
Well, they played fucking Woodstock. You know what I mean?
It's in with that angsty emo rock. Like I could see them just edging in there. That's probably the biggest and closest they'll ever get. But they sold out. Like they pushed hard to get to that. Like
well, come on.
Now, like,
do you remember the TRL takeover? I do.
Yeah, the TRL takeover, and they did the what was it? The day of whatever. Like they did all these things to like try to get on there, but they tried to play it off like, well, we don't want to be on there, but wouldn't it be funny if like we took over the shit because they won't let us on there? Like, just say you want it, dude.
They like the Ray Day thing or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I don't feel like the way mainstream music is set up, we could ever get back to that kind of point. I don't think most of us would even really want to. But I will say this: it's funny when you break down lyrics of poppy mainstream music, some of the shit that they're rapping and singing about, fucking horrorcore. You're just doing it to a way nicer beat. And like, I can never remember the name of the band, but everybody knows that Pumped Up Kick song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That song's about somebody stalking people and shooting the fuck out of them.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of times, like Violent J can tell a story, but he's writing like young adult chapter books like Goosebumps. And these guys are pumping out like Stephen King. So like they're the same themes, but one of them's just better at it.
Sorry,
Okay.
I've never heard anybody compare Violent J songs to a Goosebumps book.
I'd at least give the man Fear Street.
Okay.
Can you
I
imagine a
guess Fear Street,
Goosebumps
the
book
older
called just like
brothers.
Evil Eye, or 12?
I
Yeah.
don't think I would have been reading them.
Uh,
I think I would have got those taken away. Like, what are you reading? You can't read that. You need Jesus.
Everybody needs Jesus.